Greetings, everyone. Well, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Comic book update time again. So, quite a few of you, and by quite a few, I mean at least one, possibly two, have said to me recently, "Hey, Z, how come you always wear a Batman shirt, but you hardly ever buy any Batman stuff?" I don't know. Honestly, because I don't have a lot of comic book based T-shirts, so but I love the Bat logo, so I have like 4 Batman shirts that are just the logo, like different versions of the logo. So that's a comic booky thing. So I wear this when I do comic book updates. Simple as that. That said, I may have got some Batman stuff. So let's a look today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. All right, Batman. Here we go. And by Batman, of course, I mean Green Arrow. So I got Volume 8 of Green Arrow. This is Mike Grell's take on it, of course, which I've been just gushing about since they started doing reprints about it. This is Volume 8, Hunt for the Red Dragon. This is the second last volume. There's actually one more to go, which will contain the final handful of issues and the Wonder Year miniseries that he did. And then that is it for Mike Grell's run on Green Arrow. So one more volume, and then we've got it all, man. That's just too freaking awesome. I've been absolutely loving this series so much. There's quite a lot of it that I'd never read before, so just the vast majority of it was all new to me. Basically, I had read the Longbow Hunters and then maybe the first dozen or so issues of the regular series that followed. So pretty much everything from volume 3 on of these reprints was all new to me. And boy, just what a treasure trove of superb storytelling and some fantastic artwork too. Just really, really good stuff. At some point, I want to sit down and just kind of go through these volume by volume and do like proper in-depth looks at them for you. I've actually had that on the back burner forever. So one of these days I will get around to that. Maybe when around the time that Volume 9 comes out, we'll just have like a fest of like 9 straight weeks talking about Mike Grell's Green Arrow and just go from there. Anyway, all joking aside, I did get some Batman stuff, so let's take a look here. So first up, you may recall a series from a few years back, like a reprint series that DC was doing, the Chronicles series, and they did ones based, featuring various, high-tier superheroes. So they had a Batman Chronicles, they had a Superman Chronicles, they had a Wonder Woman Chronicles, they had a Green Lantern Chronicles, and so forth. And what the idea with the Chronicles series was that it was reprinting all of the early appearances of these characters in chronological order. So if they had appeared in multiple books, you would get all of those books in their original publication order reprinted. Now the problem is the Chronicles series didn't run for very long. They did maybe 8 or so volumes, and then they stopped. And also, each volume was really small. It was only like 128 pages, so there wasn't room for a ton of issues, especially issues from back then, which tended to be a lot longer than comics now. It wasn't uncommon for them to be 48 or 64 pages every other month. And so that's quite a lot of comics. And when you're putting in these reprint editions, wow, emphasis is on the wrong syllable there, it tends to eat through the pages pretty quick, and thus you don't get a high number of issues. Now that said, they have basically started over with a series called The Golden Age. So here I've got The Golden Age Batman, Volume 1. And just look at the gorgeousness of the reprints here. I mean, these are absolutely beautiful. These are slightly higher quality than the Chronicles ones as well. The Chronicles were kind of on more just kind of regular cheap comic paper. These ones, as you can see, are more kind of glossy, so very, very nice indeed. So they are a step up from, say, the Green Arrow editions, which are done more on the comic style paper, but I forgive Green Arrow for this because it's actually the exact same kind of paper that the original comics were printed on. It was the so-called new format back in the 80s. So this actually matches that quite nicely. A lot of people don't know if they realize that, but the style of paper is sort of very light gloss, is basically exactly the same as the type of paper it was printed on at the time. It was considered, you know, kind of mid-grade premium paper at the time. So yeah, so Golden Age Batman, just to give you an idea what's in this here, let's see. So we've got Detective Comics numbers 27 through 45. I should mention it is not the complete issues of Detective Comics, it is strictly the Batman stories. He was basically just kind of a backup feature, which quickly gained prominence because he was so popular. And then we got Batman numbers 1 to 3, and New York World's Fair Comics number 2. So there you go. So all of the earliest, almost 500 pages worth of the earliest appearances of Batman there. Pretty cool. And speaking of going back to the origins, I have a couple of different reprints of this. Or no, I guess I've got one. Yeah, so I actually had the original 4 issues of Batman that this appeared in. They've long since been sold for lunch money. And then I got the complete Frank Miller Batman, which of course is now no longer complete, but complete at the time, which also reprinted this. But and it's a very nice hardcover book that it is included in, but all the pages are very glossy. And this particular story I always felt did not work well on high gloss. It should be more kind of matte. And that's what this edition gives us. Batman Year One. So this is, as far as I can tell, basically the definitive edition of Batman Year One. It's this beautiful, very light gloss, more of a matte finish, high quality paper, which really suits the artwork nicely. And then in addition to that, we've got, let's see, yeah, a whole bunch of production sketches and ideas and things like that by David Mazzucchelli. So very, very cool. This is a really, really nice edition and quite cheap too. It was under 20 bucks. Yeah, in the U.S. it's only $14.99. Here it was $17.99. So not a bad deal at all. So it gives you the complete 4-part story and tons of behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Now, this past Halloween, I read Batman: The Long Halloween. I meant to do a review of it. I just never got around to it. Sorry. It was awesome. Highly recommended. I'll do something more substantial at some point. In the meantime, I really dug what Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale were doing, and was told, like, well, hey, if you like that, they've done a bunch of other ones too. So I picked up Batman Haunted Night. This one actually predates The Long Halloween. This is a series of specials that they did that all take place on Halloween. So even more Batman Halloween goodness here. So very cool. So that one's quite nice. And then there's the direct sequel to The Long Halloween, Dark Victory. So here we go. We just take a little flip through there. Yeah, I know this isn't the best way to show you pictures, but whatever, you get the general gist of it. Look at all the beautifulness. So yeah, so this is also a 13-part story, much like The Long Halloween was. If we just take a look in the Haunted Night. There we go. So this was all published prior. Obviously quite popular. This particular reprint edition is the 11th printing. So yeah, this is the second printing. They had the third printing as well, which I noticed replaced the sort of soft matte finish, because that's how I have The Long Halloween as well. So and that's what I have here. So I kind of wanted it all to match, have the same texture to it. So the third printing on has more of a matte gloss. A matte gloss. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't have that soft texture to it that this does. It's hard to describe. You really have to just reach into the screen and just touch it. Just touch it, and you'll see what I mean. See? Feel that? Isn't that nice? Yeah. Oh, okay, stop touching it. Just calm down. All right, and then yeah. So anyway, very nice. So I grabbed the second printing, last copy they had, just to kind of have the texture match. Like, consistency is important, okay? So there is one more chapter I need to get in the Loeb and Saleverse of Batman, and that's Catwoman When in Rome. I looked everywhere. They did not have it in stock. I'm probably going to have to special order that one. So then last but most certainly not least, another one written by Jeff Loeb, this time, however, illustrated by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. I have heard many positive things about this particular villain. It's a newer villain for Batman, and apparently fans really dug the character, and I've been wanting to check out the story. We've got Batman Hush. Yeah, so looking forward to checking this one out and seeing what all the hoopla is about. But yeah, so I figured it was high time I started digging into some of the big notable Batman stories in recent years, because there's been some really good ones, and I know that these are the top of a lot of must-read lists, so I wanted to, you know, check them out. And then, of course, go back to the origins as well, because I do like the old school stuff. The first like 120 pages worth of stories, Batman mercilessly kills almost every villain in there. So anybody who thinks that Batman doesn't kill needs to go read some Golden Age Batman, because he just showed no mercy. But then I think when Robin was introduced, they kind of softened him a bit, because you know, we can't just be teaching this kid to go around killing people, you know. But well, it's okay. There was basically cases where he would kill the villain, or the villain would die, and Batman would literally say, he got what he deserved." Like, he literally says that in some of the stories. He got what he deserved. Just totally, yeah. Apparently, the early Superman stories are like that as well. It's just like, whatever. You know, not my problem. Anyway, yeah. So I got lots of Batman stuff to enjoy now. So, you happy now? Have I justified the wearing of the shirt? Huh? I was gonna get these anyway, so whatever. It's just whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've got a lot of Batman to read now, so have yourselves a wonderful week. I'll see you next Wednesday for another exciting comic book update. I got a pretty big one for you next week, actually. Quite a stack of stuff, and but I'll save that all as a surprise. All right. So big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Really appreciate you guys and gals supporting the show. That's awesome. You're helping to keep the dream alive and keep the magic happening. So thank you very, very much for your support. I really appreciate that a lot. And big thanks to you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll be back for more. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now. So until next time, sayonara. Greetings, everyone. Well, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Comic book update time again. So, a lot of people... Well, not a lot of people. Maybe... Okay, blah!